She grew up sharing beds with 13 siblings. Now, she's sold over 150 million albums worldwide. Welcome to Story Studio 91. The year was 1981. A 13-year-old Celine Dion stood on a small stage in a Quebec nightclub. She wore a homemade dress her mother had sewn from cheap fabric. The club was half empty, and most people weren't paying attention. They were drinking, talking, ignoring the skinny girl with the big teeth. But Celine sang with everything she had. Her voice was powerful, breathtaking, yet nobody seemed to care. After the show, the club owner handed her mother a few dollars, barely enough for gas. Celine's family was desperate, the poorest in their town, with 14 kids crammed into a tiny house. Music was their only hope, but that night, it felt hopeless. Celine went home and cried, feeling like a failure. But her mother, Therese, refused to give up. She believed Celine had a gift, a voice that could change their lives. And she was right. Celine was born in 1968 in Charlemagne, Quebec, the youngest of 14 children. Her parents, Edhima and Therese, were very poor and could barely feed their massive family. The kids shared beds and wore hand-me-downs. There was no privacy, no luxury, but there was music. Her father played the accordion, her mother sang, and music filled their tiny house. It was their joy, their escape. Celine started singing before she could read, performing at her parents' small piano bar by age 5. Even as a little girl, her voice was special, powerful, mature beyond her years. But being talented in a small town meant nothing without being discovered. Her mother knew that, so she made a plan. When Celine was 12, her mother and brother wrote a song, recorded her singing it on a cheap tape recorder, and sent it to a successful music manager named Rene Angelil. Rene almost threw the tape away, but something made him listen. When he heard Celine's voice, he cried. He had never heard anything like it. Rene invited Celine and her mother to his office. He was shocked when she walked in. She was awkward with crooked teeth and cheap clothes, looking nothing like a star. But then she opened her mouth and sang. Rene knew right then this girl was going to be huge. He decided to manage her, mortgaging his own house to pay for her first album. He bet his entire life on a 12-year-old girl from a poor family. It was the best bet he ever made. Her first French album in 1981 was a hit in Quebec, and she quickly became famous in French-speaking Canada. But Rene wanted more. He wanted her to be a global star, which meant singing in English. Celine barely spoke the language, but she learned, working relentlessly with tutors and coaches. In 1990, she released her first English album, Unison, breaking into the international market. Then came 1991. Celine sang the theme song for Disney's Beauty and the Beast. The song was a massive hit, winning a Grammy and making her a star in America. Around this time, she was also falling in love with her manager, Rene, who was 26 years older. Their relationship was controversial, but Celine didn't care. They married in 1994. Her career exploded in the 90s. Album after album went multi-platinum. In 1997, she recorded My Heart Will Go On for the movie Titanic. The song became one of the best-selling singles of all time, winning an Oscar and a Grammy and cementing her status as a global icon. In 2003, Celine launched her Las Vegas residency, A New Day. The show ran for 5 years, with over 700 performances seen by 3 million people, earning her over $100 million. The poorest girl from Quebec had conquered the entertainment capital of the world. But her life hasn't been without hardship. In 2016, her husband Rene passed away. Then, in 2022, Celine was diagnosed with stiff person syndrome, a rare neurological disorder affecting her ability to sing and perform. She's had to step away from the stage, but she continues to fight, refusing to give up. From sharing beds with 13 siblings, Celine Dion has sold over 150 million albums and earned over $1.5 billion. She once said, "I looked in the mirror and saw something I was not comfortable with. Me. I said, I can fix my teeth, but I can't fix my voice. My voice is me." She knew her gift was her voice and she built everything on it. She also said, "There is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs." Celine climbed every single stair. Your gift is enough. Celine didn't have money, connections, or conventional beauty. She had a voice. One extraordinary gift. What's your gift? Focus on that and find people who believe in you, just like Celine's mother and Rene did. If this story touched you, please like and subscribe to Story Studio 91. Share this with someone who thinks their gift isn't enough. Remind them that the poorest of 14 kids who sang in empty clubs is now one of the most successful artists in history. Your gift is enough. Use it.